This is a simple game that I made, the very first game I've ever created with Unity. Today, I want to share how I built it from zero Unity experience, starting with nothing and eventually finishing the whole game. So, welcome to my game dev blog. Here is the whole idea in one sentence. A ball drops from the top of the screen. I click to spawn a dot. The ball rebounds off that dot, and my job is to guide it to the bottom without touching the clouds or the edges. It is purposefully a one-button game. The entire experience is around clicking to place the dot. The theme is the sky, a warm sunrise in the background, clouds drifting as moving obstacles, and gravity pulling the balls to the bottom. So, why build this? Honestly, because it seems interesting, and I want to turn an idea into something real. I had zero Unity experience, and that was the point. I want to challenge myself after seeing complete game on itch.io and wondering, could I make one too? Here's the process I went through during the development process. This is a graph that shows my progress during the project. I will be covering every stage of the journey, what worked, what challenge I faced, and how I got from zero experience to a finished game. I began by breaking down the game mechanics. Since the idea was simple, it didn't take long. I intentionally kept it simple so it could be easier to make. The core mechanics is clicking the mouse to add a dot. When the ball hits the dot, it bounces and continues towards a target location. Here's the step-by-step breakdown of my game. First, add the bouncing effect and gravity to the ball. Then, allow clicks to spawn the dot. Detecting collisions between the ball and the dot, define the areas that the ball cannot collide with, like the wall and the cloud. Set the ball spawning area, and creating scoring and life system. Finally, build the starting and ending scenes, and that's the all steps that I have to go through. It didn't take me that long for breaking down the mechanics, but after breaking down it, I got stuck. I didn't know how to actually start with using Unity. So, I spent a lot of time on watching tutorials. On top of that, since I had never learned C# before, but Unity is basically using C# to make the script. Therefore, I had to learn Unity in a new language at the same time, which doubled the challenge. At this frustrating stage, I decided to follow a complete game tutorial and just clone it. That helps me quickly understand how C# and Unity's UI actually apply to the game development, rather than getting stuck in tutorial hell. Even so, I still spent a couple weeks on learning and cloning before starting my own build. But luckily, things start to looking good. The first breakthrough came when I finally made the ball bounce by adding bounciness and gravity. The very first time it actually bounced around the screen was a huge milestone. It felt amazing, like the project went from abstract to alive. From there, I built another small steps one by one, detecting collisions with the dot, defining the spawning area, and wiring up scoring and lives. I also spent time adjusting the ball's bounciness. If the ball is too sensitive, it was easy to lose control, but if it is too flat, it wasn't satisfying. Finding the right balance changed the entire feel of the game. To make things more engaging, I add a difficulty curve. For every 5 points, the clouds speed up slightly. At first, the game feels relaxed, just simply clicking and bouncing. But then it starts getting more difficult. Also, I've made the sound effect. It turns out to be the finishing touch. I tried using other sound effects, but nothing fit. So, I opened a virtual piano keyboard and record my own sounds. When you score, you can hear a happy ascending tone. When you lose a life, you hear a sad descending tone. These tiny sounds makes the game feel alive and give instant feedback without even have to look at the score. Up to this point, everything was getting smooth, but the hardest part was still ahead. Making the start and the end scenes. Getting transition to trigger correctly and not accidentally break other scripts took far longer than I expected. I created a component called GameManager, and just one tiny mistake in that script caused the whole scene transition to stop working. It took me a long time to figure out what went wrong, and I was honestly surprised that something usually skipped could be the most difficult part of the development. And finally, the whole game was done. When I finished, I felt such a strong sense of accomplishment. My game has finally come to life. I've even uploaded it to itch.io. If you'd like to play it, the link is in the description. There are still some technical issues I haven't solved. The starting and ending scenes don't load properly on the itch.io, but I'm working on fixing them. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoy hearing about my development journey. With this success, I will continue making new games and sharing more videos about my projects. If you like this, hit the like button and subscribe for more. I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye!